Hello, we are Reviews and Interviews. I'm Vu, I am with Marie, and the book that we will be reviewing today is The Shatter Me book by Tera Matif. Marie, out of 5 stars, what did you rate this book?
Okay, out of 5 stars, I would rate this book a 4.5, which I would think is surprising for you to hear
Mm-hmm.
because I did praise this book a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's still a really good book. It's just I just don't like one of the characters in the book.
Mm.
So what would you rate this book, Jolie?
I rated it a 2 out of 5 stars,
Mm-hmm.
which I know you have some very strong thoughts on. Um, I I think I disliked For me, I disliked a lot of. I think the concept was fascinating. It's just the way that she
Mm-hmm.
went about it and the writing and the characters. They were very flat to me, and I did not understand a lot of the plot progressions, if I were to be honest. Why did you rate this book so high? Because you were the one that recommended it to me. So I'm curious what you enjoyed about it and what you disliked about it.
Um, I really like the characters, especially I forgot his name because I haven't read it in a minute. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't read it in a minute, but I really do like the characters, and also I actually really like the writing. I really like the writing. I think
Really?
it's yes, I do. I think it's a really unique way to write a book. I've never read anything like it, so
Mm.
and I actually really like it, and I'm surprised that you don't. So,
It's I'm very critical of writing,
hmm
and the issues that I had with the book centered a lot around how they portrayed Juliet's mental illness specifically.
oh yeah,
The
hmm
progression of because in the beginning of the book, she was a very shy, meek girl that couldn't really defend herself.
that's true. That's true.
How she progressed from that to the end of the book, I'm glad that there was some development,
hmm
so she did not appear flat. However, it came to me a little bit out of nowhere. And I also didn't, the plot, the way that the book, it was like a very simply written book, and that's not a bad thing. I actually
Yeah.
enjoyed that. But the plot was very lost on me.
hmm
A lot of the world building, I know it's technically the first book of the series, but a first book of a series is typically meant to set up a lot of the world building and the characters and what kind of environment they're in.
Yeah.
I did not get a lot of that. And when I was reading the book, it was just for me personally a little bit difficult to keep tabs on just what is the environment that they're in and how that affects them as characters.
hmm
And also, this is a my personal preference thing.
Oh yeah.
I really disliked the romance.
Oh really?
I did,
I
yes.
love romance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but that's understandable. I know not everyone's not gonna
Mm.
like romance, and like it's
Here's my thing. It was specifically that romance, the way that it was
mm,
done in that book.
okay.
What are your thoughts
Okay.
on that, actually?
I'm not usually picky when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to romance because like
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's fun, and also the thing is I like how it was romance, but it also had like a dystopian vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember you saying you couldn't like understand the setting. Was it the
Mm-hmm.
setting? Because like it's like around it's like a dystopian world, and there's like it's kind of like a dictatorship or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and also I don't know, the romance part didn't really bother me. Like
Really?
it did not. I actually liked it, but like, and I remember you saying there was like stuff about the book itself and how you didn't really understand like the her character development. The thing is, there's actually
Mm-hmm.
well, we already talked about this before, but like there's actually 11 other books. And I think the rest of them suck, I'm not going to lie. In my personal opinion, I think they suck. And I feel like the author should have just ended it with the first one or like
Mm-hmm.
changed up the entire story after that
Mm-hmm.
because it's just the way one of the other characters like I feel like he just messes everything up. I'm not going to lie.
Aaron, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yes, Aaron.
Ooh.
Aaron.
From my research of this book, I remember it being mentioned that this book was originally supposed to be a trilogy rather than a full series with
Mm-hmm.
11 books
Yeah.
with like a I think it was like like 6 regular books and 5 novellas.
Yeah.
From what I have seen, it wasn't expected for the book to span out that long. Do you think, because you've read the series more than me, do you think if it was just like a trilogy,
It was just a trilogy.
you might have like enjoyed the series a lot more? Or do you think you still would have had some like a lot of the issues with either like the pacing or where the plot went?
I don't know actually. I think maybe it would be a little bit easier to
Mhm.
read. Definitely, if it was if it was a trilogy.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It was mostly just the character. I
Mm.
think that I didn't like, and I didn't like how he ended up with her in the end. Spoiler alert. But it's kind of late for that. So, but anyways, yeah, there will be a lot of spoilers. I'm gonna say that. But like, yeah.
I think I found myself disliking his character the most.
You mean
I
Aaron?
Yes,
Mm.
I also have to agree with you.
Okay, that's one thing we agree on.
I dislike the way that he was portrayed a lot. And when I was first of all, I did not I understood that he wanted Juliet, that
Yeah.
he was entranced by her,
Hmm.
and he was willing to make her and I think Adam go through a lot in order because he really likes her.
Hmm.
I don't understand that. I For me, because we don't get anything about him and his like story and stuff, and from what
Hmm.
we know, he's a dictator. He kills and he hurts people
Yeah.
on a whim. And personally, dictatorship and things along those lines are very fascinating things to deal with in books, especially like fantasy if it's done correct.
Hmm.
From what I've researched, he ends up being a very sympathetic character. And I don't understand that.
Hmm.
I think possibly if I were to read the actual books, maybe like the rest of the books, I could have understand it just a little bit more.
Yeah.
However, when I was reading the book for myself, he seemed like a very one dimensional character who
What do you mean by that?
he's very, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. He's very flat to me because from what it just seems, he likes Juliet.
Hmm.
He's manipulative and evil, but that's kind of all we know about him.
Yeah.
I don't he seems very controlling. However, he has no sympathetic traits from what I have gathered
Hmm.
from my time reading this book. I didn't see a lot of sympathetic. The thing that makes a character interesting is that every character, both good and bad,
Hmm.
or no matter how much you view them, they have both good and bad traits. And if they're a good character, then their actions and their morality will lean onto one side. And if they're technically a more antagonistic or a villain character,
Yeah.
typically a lot of their morality and their thoughts and processes, they will have a reason for it, but the actions that they do hurt or cause people harm in
Hmm.
whichever way. Aaron as a character, from what I've seen of him, his actions hurt people,
Hmm.
just a lot of people throughout this entire book. He's hurt soldiers, Juliet, Adam. He's hurt a lot of people. However, I can't seem to understand, aside from just the want for control,
Yeah.
why he would go that far. But currently, from what I've seen of him, I don't understand where he gets that want for control from.
Hmm.
And I find it personally, he is very disinteresting to me.
Yeah.
For me, all of the characters kind of suffer that fate where
Hmm.
I find them all to be a little, I dislike them quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he, in my opinion, I think this opinion would change the farther I read.
You read.
But
Yeah.
from the first book, he just fell flat on his face for me.
Hmm.
I we do want to encourage people to argue with us If you
Yeah.
have your own different opinions, you can absolutely send them in. Um, who's your favorite character on that note?
My favorite character, I would say my favorite character is James. He's like he's Adam's little brother because I feel like he just has a
Mm-hmm.
interesting personality and he's really funny too, I would say.
Mm.
And I just feel like they should have given him like more
They should have
presence.
done more with
Yeah, yeah, in the
Mm-hmm.
book. And oh yeah, I remember what you were saying about Warner. I
Mm-hmm.
actually agree with pretty much all of what you said because it's I feel like he's kind of selfish in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't and I will say this that in the other books, apparently he's supposed to be like more sympathetic, but I just feel like he's using her, honestly, the entire
Mm-hmm.
time. And spoiler alert, they actually do end up getting married, which I think is really dumb. But I just hate it so much. I just feel like Adam should have been a better character because he
Mm-hmm.
was he was the one who was there before Aaron was, and he actually cared for her, and he
Mm-hmm.
basically risked his entire life for her, but she just didn't seem to care, which I thought was dumb. But yeah,
From the buildup of her character and their relationship and such, and how they met when they were young too,
hmm
and how he like uprooted his entire life. He ran away with her.
he
Going,
did.
I I have to agree with what you're saying. I don't understand where her lack of care came from.
Me
Perhaps.
neither.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember in one of the other books, it was like a little farther. I think it was the third or fourth book. I remember her saying something about how, um, like he thinks she is weak. If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because I feel like she thinks he doesn't see her as like a stronger person, but I feel like that's not true. I feel like he just cares a lot for her because
Mm-hmm.
he basically risked his entire life just to like make sure she was safe. You know.
I do. I think if that's the case, that's actually interesting because it could be like because she could view it where he doesn't see her as having her own agency
hmm
because he's been saving her and looking out for her for so long.
Yeah.
So I do understand that aspect of it. From what it seems like though, it seems very underdeveloped, and I think that's like
hmm
if their relationship, if there were seemingly a lot more flaws,
Flaws.
like flaws in the relationship setup,
Oh yeah.
then it would make sense as to why they would eventually like break off.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't seem to have that same development.
Yeah. I don't really see why she. I'm not sure actually. I really don't know. That's also one of the things I don't like about Julia is because she picks Aaron in the end over Adam, and I'm like, it's just so annoying. Ugh. But anyways, yeah. I could really talk about it for like all day.
It's
Like.
wonderful that we're here in this podcast then because that's kind of the whole purpose of this. But okay, let's bring back to things that we did enjoy about this book then
Yeah.
because we've been
Yeah.
spending
Yeah.
a very long time critiquing it. What were some of your favorite things about it, whether it be the writing, the plot, any notable thing about any characters that you liked?
Yeah. Definitely the writing. I like the way
Mm.
it's very different, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's unique, and I would really like to see more of it
The
in like
writing,
other books. Yeah.
the writing style.
Yeah. The writing style.
Okay.
Because it's really different and it's kind of like poetic almost, but
Mm.
I feel like anyone could understand it still.
I do see that. I think the writing style isn't for me personally, but I do
Mhm.
understand what you mean by it being poetic because when I was reading in my head, sometimes whenever I read it out loud, it's like there's a beat
Yeah.
that you follow. That's really interesting. That is something we disagree on then. How did you feel? One particular thing that the author's part used in this book was the
Mhm.
slashing of words
Yeah.
to dictate thoughts. Like whenever Juliet was thinking either something that she didn't want to think about or something negative, often rather than going using description or anything to describe Juliet's turmoil, instead the author would cross out
Yeah.
the words from the pages. Do you like that aspect of the
I
book?
actually do. I really do like it. I think it's. Do you not like it?
I'm indifferent to it, but I want to hear why you like it.
I don't know. It's just. I feel like I get to see the whole like story almost, cuz like I
Mm-hmm.
get to see what, like, it's almost like something that she's like not supposed to like say or think or whatever, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still there for me to like see it, you know.
Mm. I could see why someone would enjoy it, like, and also like because of that slashing aspect. If we wanted to go based off the dictatorship theme,
Mhm.
often something a lot of dictators and like totalitarian, like and like fascism, what they will do is they will try to control
Yeah.
the public's mindset and thinking, and having that slashing like effect be used. If the author wanted to play up that a little bit more, she could also highlight how Juliet and like a lot of the people there are not supposed to really like are kind of going against like the dictators like
Mhm.
wants for them whenever they are thinking the certain thing and such.
Yeah.
I am curious, what do you think about the like the power aspect
The
of
power.
like her not like her whenever she, because it stated in the book that whenever she touches someone
Mhm.
they die. Like she can't touch people, and yet it's found out that she could touch like Adam
Yeah,
as an
because
example in the book. Did you?
did
What
I?
are,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I I did I think I wish that 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 aspect of her character was done in a different way. I really disliked it.
Really?
I just felt very, and this is going to sound a bit cruel. I found it to be very cheesy.
I understand. I understand. At first, I actually felt the same way. I felt it
Mm-hmm.
was a little, I don't know, contradicting, like ironic, because she was like supposed to be this like shy, meek person,
Mm-hmm.
and she had like a really like powerful power, I guess. At first, I didn't really like it because I thought I didn't really see like the blend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like now I don't really mind it so much, but I wouldn't necessarily like change it, you know.
Mm.
But if I was to give her something else, it would probably be, I don't know. Just I feel like the the death part is a bit extreme though. I feel like the death part is a bit extreme. Like I feel like she shouldn't, it's kind of like sad to me that she has that, because she's not really, that's not like her personality, you know. It doesn't really like, it just doesn't,
Mm.
it's a little too contradicting for me.
The the contrast I think is actually what people like what draws people in, because it's the idea of like this like very shy and meek character having
Hmm.
something that intense
Yeah.
is what draws people into her. I would actually say I enjoy the death aspect of it. I just would like to see more of like, do they
Hmm.
decay? Is it like an instant thing where it's like they touch her and they pass out and die, or is it, do they like physically decay and rot away right in front of her? I think I would just in general, I think from what I would like from the book, because we spend a lot of the time in Juliet's head and like her
Hmm.
opinions of people and stuff.
Yeah.
I would just personally like to know more about the world and like
Yeah.
how did they get to that regime? How did it get this bad? Why is it this bad? How did
Hmm.
they, I think I would just, and also for Juliet, we understand that she's in this cell and she's in this prison and that she's not doing well, and that there's even like the showering aspect of it where it's like they only have like five
Oh
to
yeah.
something seconds. I found
Hmm.
that to be very improbable as I see it as something like something that's able to happen. It's
Hmm.
just the way that it's portrayed in the book is very improbable to me, and I think I would have liked to see the author use some like possibly even real world inspirations
Yeah.
to see how like to kind of explore expand more on that, and sort of
Hmm.
like the harshness and such of like, because it's a concentration and the prison
Hmm.
is like a concentration camp essentially.
Yeah.
Or like I think I would have really liked to, like I think the author could have, it's a little bit of a disservice of the author not to perhaps highlight and talk a bit more about like the cruelty of those places and stuff, rather than just use them for shock value, like why
Yeah.
are they there, why is this happening and such, is more of what I've liked to see. But that's just
Hmm.
me personally, and I
Yeah.
am a bit more critical, so.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. It actually goes. I feel like as in, oh gosh, I can't speak. Anyways, like in the series, I feel like it goes a little bit more in depth about
Mm-hmm.
like the outside world,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
in the novellas too. I think I read one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It also talks about like other people's points of views and like other other people's, opinions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know, I do like being being able to see what's going on inside her head,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like, I don't know, and also the setting is also like really depressing. So I don't know if I really want to read about that.
That's
So
that's valid.
yeah. Hmm.
Would you personally recommend this book to someone? I know you recommended it to me, but like to your friends or like anyone else, or even to the people listening, would you personally recommend this book? I know we spent a very long time bashing it and sharing our opinions of it,
Yeah.
but despite everything we said, are would you still recommend it to people?
I actually would, which is probably not surprising, but yeah, I would recommend it because I feel like anyone can read it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's not much, like there's not too many like hard words, like complicated words or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's also, I feel like most people would like it because it's like a popular. I feel like the book itself is also pretty popular. I know a few people who've already read it. So yeah.
I think I would need to meet I would need to know the person in order to recommend this book
Mhm.
because I personally dislike it. However, you said that you liked it. And there are a lot of people who enjoy like YA fantasy like dystopian books
Yeah.
far more than I do.
Mhm.
This book admittedly I'm very critical of it also aside from everything I've stated also because I also understand that the genre is not something I am typically interested in. So I think a lot of people who enjoy more of this stuff and who enjoy like love triangles and
Yeah.
like dystopian places and seeing characters survive and such, I think they would enjoy this book far more than I did.
Mhm.
I this book was just not my thing, but I
Mhm.
think but it was still fun. It was still a fun experience.
Yeah.
So I think that I would need to meet the person to recommend it to them, but I I wouldn't recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, I understand.
Mhm.
I wouldn't recommend it to like everyone
Mhm.
either, especially like because it does have some like quote unquote like explicit scenes. I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
I wouldn't really recommend it to like, I don't know, older people,
Mhm.
especially like
Hmm.
grandmas and stuff. Like I'm not trying to be mean, but like I love old people, okay, but like I'm not trying to be mean. But I wouldn't recommend it to them because they're probably gonna be like, oh, this has explicit scenes or like, something like
Mm.
that.
Mm.
But it's mostly just like for like people around my age. And I
That's
definitely
fair.
would not recommend it to my parents. Oh my gosh. If they hear this, guys, please don't read this. Please don't read the book because they're probably going to be mad at me. They're going to be like, what are you reading? But, anyways, yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
formal apology to any adults or grandmas listening. But I think we have rambled enough about our opinions of this book.
Yeah.
If you have any food, book, movie, fashion, or any kind of things that you want us to review, please scan our QR code and send in your reasons as to why you would like us to review that certain thing or what you would exactly like us to do. If you have any people that you want us to interview, because we also interview people, send in the people as well, why you want us to interview them, and follow along to all the questions. This was Reviews and Interviews. I would like to give a thanks to our producer Andrew and Miss Wade's public speaking class. And that's all we have for today. Thank you for listening.
Bye bye.